Hey guys, it's Sarah, aka Sarah N Tuned. This is the 2018 Lexus IS300 all-wheel drive. Today I'm going to review it and take it for a drive and tell you what I think about it. Alright, starting out with the exterior. First, I gotta say the front end on this car. I like it, but I know a lot of people don't. It kind of has a face like the car is trying to eat you. Brr. I don't know, I like the grille on this car. I think it's kind of cool what Lexus is doing, but on the flip side, I can see a lot of people might not like the styling of the Lexus IS. It almost looks like the bumper is melting in a way. I don't know. Now this is not the F Sport model. The F Sport model does have a little bit more aggressive front fascia, but it has that weird melting style grille. It's dependent on what your tastes are and what you like for styling of a car. I like it, but I can see how a lot of people might not. Now in my opinion, the first generation Lexus IS300 had a very iconic style to the rear end with the famous Altezza taillights. The rear end of the third gen Lexus IS has this droopy-eyed kind of look to the taillight. At first I didn't like it, but now as this model is getting later in its age, it's starting to grow on me. But again, it's very subjective styling with the Lexus IS. The wheels equipped on this Lexus are the optional 18-inch liquid graphite wheels, and they kind of look like twisted macaroni noodles. Maybe I'm just hungry. Oh my god, there's a deer! As far as the styling goes on the rest of the car, I feel the F Sport model really brings out the styling and design of this car. And this non-F Sport trim, it's just kind of like a watered down version of the way it should be. So personally, I think the F Sport would be the only way to go if you're gonna purchase this car. Although I definitely have to say this red line color is by far hands down my favorite. In person, it almost has like this slight pink tone to it. I liked it so much that I actually got my nails done a matching color because I'm bougie like that. It's starting to get really windy out here and I keep eating my hair, so let's check out the inside of the car. The interior in this car is nice, I'll definitely say that. It has this shelf in the dash. It's kind of neat. It's like a shelf that you would want to put knickknacks on. But don't put knickknacks in your car on your shelf. That would be a bad idea, especially when you floor it. They'll come flying and hit you in the face. No one wants a teacup in the face. Okay, a little bit off subject. The navigation screen and infotainment screen is in the center, kind of tucked away in the shelf. And it's nice because it's just right where your eye level would be when you're driving. It's a good position for it. It has this Lexus wristwatch looking clock in the center of the vents in the dash. That's like, it's a pretty clock, it really is, but it looks like you have a wristwatch in your dash. I found it kind of odd that the HVAC buttons are on the center console as well as on the infotainment screen. So you can adjust the air conditioning and vents and heat in the center console with buttons, and you can also adjust it on the screen with this wonky little mouse. And speaking of this wonky little mouse, it doesn't work very well. It's really weird. When you go to try to move the cursor over on the screen, sometimes it double skips the item that you're trying to go to. And when I say sometimes, it happens a lot. You have to be very gentle when you move the mouse over, else it'll shoot past where you're trying to go. It's a good idea, but it's weird. I'm in a car, not an office, so I don't understand why it needs this. I just feel like the technology and these features that are in this car 10 years from now will be so dated and weird that you'll get in the car and be like, Oh, that's what they did in the past. There is a dial in the center for your eco, push for normal, and sport mode, and driving it, I saw no difference whatsoever with these different modes, other than you get a little green light on your gauge cluster that says eco, and then when you put it in sport, it kind of illuminates red on the bottom. But performance-wise, it wasn't really that noticeable for me. I didn't notice much of a difference. A lot of people harp on car manufacturers for being parts binny. That's a word, I just made it up, parts binny. And the cruise control stock here on the steering column is something that you find in a lot of other Toyota products. I kind of like it. It's like a familiar touch. If you own more than one Lexus or Toyota product, it'll be similar getting into your different vehicles. I have no problem with it being the same as other models of cars. Now, I am 5'11", so I am by no means short, and this car has plenty of legroom. Like right now, the seat is all the way back and I can't reach the pedals or the steering wheel. Tons of room. But as far as the back goes, let me get this thing adjusted to where I would normally sit. Go Gadget Sasquatch position. Now everything's adjusted to where I need it. I'm gonna climb in the back seat and we'll see what kind of room I got back there. Oh, kind of a tight fit. Okay, so I am 5'11". My head is hitting the ceiling. My knees are jammed into the back of the seat. It's not exactly very comfortable if you're this tall. Granted, I have the seat set where I would be sitting if I was driving. I guess it works for kids or if you're like 5'9" or under. Time to take this thing for a drive. I am on Mount Lemon in Tucson, Arizona. I figured it'd be a perfect place to review an all-wheel drive car. Thankfully, Lexus did away with the 2.5 liter V6 that was found in the Lexus IS250. Now, the Lexus IS300 has the 2GR which is a 3.5 liter V6, also found in the Lexus IS350. However, this is detuned to 260 horse and 236 pound-feet of torque. Despite this thing being a detuned version of the Lexus IS350, it does still have a good mid-range punch when you floor it, but I wouldn't call this thing fast. The first gen Lexus IS300 will always be a favorite to me because it was offered with the 2JZ. Granted, it was the 2JZ GE, which is the non-turbo version. It still had basically the heart of a Supra. This kind of feels like it has the heart of a Camry. Not saying a heart of a Camry is a bad thing because it still has 260 horse and 236 pound-feet of torque. Now I'm driving up an amazing road right now. Normally I'd want to be hucking this car through the corners, but I don't. I just want to drive slow and comfy in it because it's a really comfortable car. It's quiet on the inside, but why does it look so aggressive if it's not that aggressive? I'm driving over brick cobblestone right now, and it's actually really smooth. It's got nice smooth suspension, that's for sure. If I was in the market for a car in this class, and I was looking at the Lexus as a serious option, I think the strong suit of this car would be it's essentially a Toyota. I feel like this car would go 200,000 miles and it wouldn't break. The only thing I don't like is this 6-speed automatic transmission that is found in the all-wheel drive version. It's just really kind of pokey. I don't know. I personally prefer the response and sharp shifting of a dual clutch gearbox, and for this kind of price, a lot of the German competitors have those transmissions. It's time to test the turning radius. See if this thing can turn around in 2 lanes. Oh wow. Okay. That's pretty good turning radius, especially for being all-wheel drive. So the final big question, would I buy this Lexus IS300 all-wheel drive? No, I wouldn't. I feel there's so much more you could buy with that money. However, I don't think this is a bad car. If I was gonna get one, it would definitely be the F-Sport IS350 in rear-wheel drive. I think that car would be a lot more fun, but that's just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week with another review on TFL.